round 2 against tongfu. You remember anything noteworthy about that? Like
about tongfu? Of course. I played 2 Pudge games out of 3 games, so of course I remember.
So tongfu is a Chinese team, and they participated at TI3 as well, although they got 7th there, which actually makes them the worst performing Chinese team at TI3. And maybe you can tell us more about the general perception of Chinese teams?
China was always a powerhouse since Dota 1 days. Like too many good teams, too many good players, their level was always higher, and the thing is you couldn't really beat Chinese teams if you play the same way as they do. That was always a rule. Few teams through the years could break this from time to time, but mostly from playing their own way, you know.
Are you ready for probably one of the most legendary, well, I'm not sure if it's the most legendary sets of games, but definitely has one of the most legendary games of all time in it.
Yeah, sure.
NaVi versus tongfu here.
Let's go.
Yeah? All right then. The first thing I want to talk about, and the first thing I want you to tell me about, is just this.
Just because NaVi, up until now, not a whole lot of damage.
Right.
I mean, they have a Chen, of course.
Oh, hello!
There we go.
The big man makes an appearance, and there are people on their feet. Dendi Pudge going to be joining us here in Benaroya Hall, and yeah, I think that's good. That right there might be one of the biggest cheers we hear the entire series. Just the pick.
I can see host picture in the background. It's pretty funny one. About Pudge, I can tell you that there's a lot of stories about the hero, but it wasn't taken too serious back in the days by pro teams. We used it. We also were afraid to use it like consistently because it was very inconsistent strategy in a way. But we knew that Pudge is working pretty well against Chinese teams because once again they're very conservative and very careful, and it's easier. It felt easier to beat them through house in a way, and Pudge was giving this house because you, in order to win with Pudge, you needed to overrun your enemy, else the hero would become very weak. Pudge was one of the best snowballer heroes back in the days. That's why actually core Pudge didn't work after economic change for many years. Kills not worth it. And Pudge is all about kills. He needs more time, slower game. Now the game is too fast for Pudge. I can say that we used it at TI2 in group stage. I remember I was begging Puppy to pick it for me for some time. And against tongfu, we agreed it might work. We had enough balls to try it. Especially it was first game, right?
From my perspective, I remember that at the time, Pudge was not generally considered a viable hero.
It was like this all the time, all the time. It was not a viable hero for competitive. That's how people treated it, at least.
There were just a few heroes in the game that weren't considered to be a viable option for competitive at all. You wouldn't ever pick them. Bloodseeker was one of them, Techies, and of course Pudge. Despite that, NaVi was actually the one team that would pick Pudge, and was also the one team that teams would actually respect the Pudge pick off. So even at TI2, you would have teams banning Pudge against NaVi, specifically so that Dendi here doesn't play the hero.
I'm not sure if you would pick it at all, even if it's not getting banned.
Nobody other than you did. You were the only team. There was no other team that would ever dare pick Pudge.
Chickens.
tongfu ended up going with a bit of a weird draft. They picked Darkseer, and I'm pretty sure Darkseer was originally intended to go into the offlane, but then they actually sent him mid against your Pudge after they saw your Pudge pick. So you got yourself some money, you mostly bought boots and bottle, and then you just started ganking. The Pudge just running around the map looking for hooks, and that was actually very effective. While you don't have any a significant amount of last hits, you already have 5 kills and 3 assists at this stage, which is a pretty significant amount for this tournament. And on top of that, you have been applying a lot of pressure on tongfu. tongfu is falling behind on kills quite significantly, and you've got Hwost farming up in the bottom lane.
That's the main point of what you're saying, applying pressure. I think this is why the hero was so good back in the days, because the game was slower once again, and if you cannot really beat Pudge and you are dodging him, like you need more people to like push Pudge away from your territory, and if you bring more people, Like, you lose territory on some other side of map. So basically, Pudge was way too good into creating space for my team and way too bad for enemy team, because they would group up and farm much less.
When you get caught out of position by a Rubik Gyro, the damage output is insane. He is maxing Rocket Barrage, or I should say it is maxed. So it's going to be doing a tremendous amount, especially when you're caught by yourself. And tongfu just were a little bit out of position, and that's something that NaVi, we talked about, they can capitalize on.
He purged the courier. Here comes the arrow. Hook's going to be off the mark. Splits the wickets. King J disrupted to bail him out. Here he comes back out. Wall's going to go.
Not enough mana for Vacuum on Darkseer.
There's the death of Vost in trouble now. Call down, melting down banana, and Chen got him home. Funnick is dominating indeed, and a hook from Dendi again. Finding yet another hero. Moo's going to come in. No idea how much trouble he's in. Kuro stole Ice Path, threw it out, and missed. Hao going to use Spectral Dagger to chase down Funnick. Funnick leaps away to safety. And Moo and Hao hanging around. There's the telekinesis. Will they engage? He's looking for a hook. There it is. Moo brought back in, beautiful chain on the hook into the Ice Path. Dendi thrilling the crowd and tallying the kills.
That's the thing about Pudge once again. Like, I had few fresh heaps, one bracer, and I was like so fat, so much HP. And Chen can also heal me and send me home. Like, this is so strong.
Can you maybe explain that Chen ability a little?
After a few seconds, it would send you to Fountain straight. You would send somebody like under focus. It doesn't matter if you get damaged or not, you will still end up on Fountain in some amount of seconds.
The Pudge in this game ended up really instilling a bit of fear into tongfu. And this team fight, I think, is really the one that showcases that the best. Like, this was the fight that ended up bringing tongfu into a mindset where they were only grouped up and they would only play together, and they were incredibly afraid.
Do they have the fall? Comes a double Ice Path and the hook right after the telekinesis. That's what we call an alley-oop, ladies and gentlemen. Dendi, the high-flying hook thrower, gonna chase him down. One more. Why not? Can't even call it fishing. It's like fishing with dynamite. Moo's gonna re-engage though. Dendi right on top of him, doing the damage. Chen blows the heel. King J's there. Ice Path locks him down. One kill from the Rot, and King J now on the run. Dendi with a hook up in 5 seconds. You better run, King J. He's not missing today.
Unbelievable performance out of Dendi this game. Just, I think he's got like, what, 80-something%?
What a great arrow following up the homing missile. Gets the kill. Will be trading 1 for 1 though. In the meantime though, NaVi doing work and bringing down another tier 1.
Well, we talked about momentum and how well NaVi work under those circumstances, and I think this is a perfect example. They start landing hooks, they start landing arrows, telekinesis works fantastic with Pudge in general, and stealing Ice Path, that's going to be like one of the best feelings in the world.
Yeah, feels good, feels good. TI1 I back for Pudge, but Arstyle pick it for himself. ESWC I get Pudge. In TI2 I back for Pudge, I get Pudge. In TI3 I back for Pudge, I get Pudge. That's how it works. Please pick me, pick me. Fun is a huge part of Dota, and that was insanely fun. I get a lot of good feelings out of playing those games. I think I still remember through like after 10 years or even more, so it's pretty cool. But I see exactly why Pudge was working back in the days so well. It fits perfectly the economic system back in the days. It's just so good.
This first game here, it ends up being a fairly one-sided one, since your Pudge ends up being so overwhelming.
Yeah, this might be about their last chance, and even then, I mean, hell, the Radiance isn't even done on Spectre yet. Has not even completed. Hook gonna split the wickets again. Roshan before another hook gonna miss.
So that's definitely a smart idea. But Dendi's still going to throw him anyway, because, as he would say, you miss every hook you don't throw.
Here we go, disruption to lead off, and the Force Staff gets him to the tail end of it. tongfu wants to engage out, and the wall and a hook on the Pudge. Vacuum misses, brought him out of it. Moo lost behind, Puppy gonna be cleaned up, and Kuro caught out as well. tongfu showing signs of life as Hao tallies a double kill. And the fight definitely going their way this time around. They needed that in the absolute worst way without some kind of a turnaround. Hook, gonna find Banana. Jakiro once again suffering Dendi's wrath. There's a call down. Dendi just, he doesn't care. It's fine. Tower damage. Glyph it, don't care. Brings down the tier 3. Putting that meat tenderizer. Moo walks up now. Yeah, finally the hook's missed. Now he'll look to re-engage. We're going to have Havos caught out. Going to BKB through it. His damage output is good enough to sit in man mode. There's a disruption to try and save Moo. King J surrounding him. There's the heal. Havos, the 4-staffed out. And Hal trying to find a target. Looked at Havos, looked at Pudge. Good arrow going to lock down Moo. And the hook brings him back. Funnick trying to make a run. He's taking a lot of damage. Dismember on the Hal. They turn their attention to the carry, and down he goes. Dendi is indeed godlike. 36-13, wandering through the ice path, looking for another hook. 4-staffs out, actually. Rare moment of Dendi not wanting a fight. Getting the job done, my friend. The net worth, 5 of the top 6 in net worth by the time the GG was called. All wearing the yellow and black. And they are on their feet.
I'm just trying out hooks in no vision, but when you look at it from both sides, you know, it looks so sloppy. When you just, I don't know, don't care about glyph and hit tower, just showing your balls, you know, like, hey, I don't care, you're done.